Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me, Rob. Let's get this show on the road.
Oh, yes. Actually, we're going home this week and playing the Cowboys at home.
Oh, we are.
Oh, yes.
Because, Mama, I'm coming home.
Oh, I thought you were doing Queen there for a second. Like, what does Queen have to do with it?
Oh,
you killed a man? Is this like, welcome to...
Put a gun against his head.
Welcome to Murderous Confessions with Two Giant Goofballs.
Oh, jeez. Took a dark turn real fast.
Took a gun.
Mama, ooh.
Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to go over with you guys here because this is a condensed week. We're going to squeeze everything in here this episode. So we got to do with the preview episode here for the Cowboys because we got them coming up here in just a couple of days, guys. So we want to go over that. I'm going to give you as far as what to do on offense, what to do with defense, keys to the game, everything going on with the injuries as well for both teams there for you guys. We're also going to go ahead and recap everything that happened with week 3 there, as we always do every single Monday morning, or Monday evening, I should say. It feels like morning. I just woke up for a nap, actually. Yes, I'm that old. I nap. Deal.
Listen, I'm jealous because I didn't get one because I had to go to a 40th birthday party this weekend, and I'm still recovering.
It's very nice. But yeah, so we're going to go over that for you guys. We're also going to go over, of course, the we got one little bit of Giants news, a little interesting, but also a little concerning at the same point there for you guys. So let's get right into that first because, guys, is it time for a new kicker again? Like it's been a week. I guess it's time. So, new kicker, obviously, Greg Joseph missed his only field goal attempt against the Browns there, 48 yards. He did hit all 3 extra points, though I got to say one of them was not exactly right down the middle. Like, there was one that I was a little worried was going to go through. Yeah. It was sort of, I mean, think about it, though. Like, that game would have been completely different. And it's interesting because you don't think about that stuff at the time because we're so focused on the Giants, like, blowing the lead towards the end almost. That game would have been different if we hit that field goal, guys. That really would have been because that would have made it a 2-score game much quicker at that point there, to where it's like, okay, this thing's over. This thing's done because there's no way they're going to score twice at this point. But instead we had the drama. Yeah,
it's not like the Giants should have left the gas off, off the pedal, if you will. But it would have changed the different dynamics of how the Browns play the game. We talked about that, like Washington the week prior. Like, you make one of those extra points, changes the whole dynamics of the game, which changes the way the other team plays. So,
yeah, I mean, the Browns were not going so crazy that last drive they had trying to get down to the touchdown again, and because they hit that 2-point conversion, that was a very scary thing at that point. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it definitely could have potentially changed the outcome. So, head coach Brian Daboll was asked about the kicking situation with the Giants there. With the media today, he said, we'll sit down and talk personnel stuff later today. You like him, obviously, to make that kick, but he didn't. But he's done a good job when he's here in practice, and we'll talk about what we're going to do here. Very ambiguous, very not committal, very not answering. And he was asked to clarify it point blank. And, he said, would he be the kicker on Thursday? And Daboll said, I didn't say that. You didn't say that. Not saying that is definitely concerning. Like, you brought in people to compete against this guy. He was supposedly the best option.
Supposedly.
And now you don't want him. It's a wee bit scary, guys.
Yeah.
It's a wee bit scary. I don't know what to think about that except for, wow. Like, we've talked and we've kind of criticized the front office and the personnel decisions this year. And I think rightfully so still. I mean, even I know everybody's all hyped up on the win. Ooh, we won a game where everything's fixed. Ooh, wow. No, it's not just fixed because we won one goddamn game, guys. I look at this and go, is this another mistake? Like, do we pick the wrong guy now? Like, you're non-committal after one game. That's not good. Like, did we pick the wrong guy? Don't get me wrong. Jude was before somebody starts talking about him. But, and I don't know who else was the right guy. I'm not trying to say that. But you're already second-guessing yourself after 1 week. That's not good, guys. So we'll have to keep an eye out, see what happens there. Obviously, anything happens, Rob and I will let you guys know if we got anybody new coming down the pipeline here for the kicking position here. But, again, the game's Thursday. It's a very short week. We don't have a lot of time, guys. I mean, he's got to learn the playbook. Do I kick it up right? Do I kick it to the side?
Try not to shank it to the left, to the right.
The nice thing about the kicker, though, like you literally can sign a kicker an hour before the game and it don't matter. Like, what do? Just go out there and kick the goddamn ball.
Yeah.
The play's not difficult.
Yeah. See the two pylons?
Yes.
In the middle.
Yes.
In the middle.
If you do that, you're better than the last guy because he missed last week. So let's get into that game, guys. So we got the Cowboys coming into town, Thursday night football. And yeah, guys, so we're going to be live for that one. Now, I will give this one caveat here. There is a storm of brewing here in Florida. I don't know if you all are hearing about that up there in Jersey. So Gulf Coast is going to get hit on Thursday. We just don't know exactly what location, exactly what time, because that's how hurricanes work, those who aren't familiar. So we'll keep an eye out. We'll keep you guys posted as far as that as things go. But let's get into the game here because we got to talk about, first off, what we're going to do when we're on defense. Because believe it or not, guys, the defense has been the strong suit of the Giants. I know it didn't look great against the Commanders, one of the 3 games here, but we actually kind of like an average defense, guys. Which is kind of weird to say. It's like, yeah, we're average.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've been called average or something. So, so we're gonna go over that there. But before we do that, actually, I almost skipped a segment here. Woo, what am I doing? I'm almost skipping a segment. Let's talk about what the Cowboys have done so far this season. So they're 1-2, same as us, which is nice. How often is like we have the same record as the Cowboys? You check Cowboys record in the regular season. They suck in the postseason, but they record in the regular season.
Yeah, they come in like pretty strong for the most part.
Yeah.
And I spoke about it a week 2 after the recap as well, is that Cowboys in the 12-5 the past 3 years they've done every season. They've always had a blowout win to a loss, an upset loss almost. And majority of those wins, those losses, on the year. So if we go back to yes, they lost to the Ravens, years prior. They've lost to the Chiefs. They lost to who and here and there, but good teams. But they've also lost upsetting games to teams that probably shouldn't have lost to after blowout wins. And they just, I guess, I don't know, they go out to whatever pub out in Dallas, have a good time.
They have taverns there. We don't. No, they have saloons. Saloons in Dallas.
Saloons. They're walking with the Spurs.
Once they're the boots with the fur.
The Spurs.
The whole club was looking at them.
Yeah. Ching,
they hit
ching,
the floor.
Ching.
Never mind. You don't get what I'm doing.
I know exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
Apple bottom jeans. You said boots with the fur. I said boots with the Spurs. Come on, man. Dallas.
Yeah, we know what happens in Dallas. Honestly, there's no actual Cowboys in Dallas. That is as city as it comes, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not like you're like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's the state capitol building. What's that? Oh, that's their cattle ranch right next to it. Like, no. It's a goddamn city. Well, let's get into what they did for the season here so far. So, they obviously beat the Browns in week 1, who we just beat as well. It's ironic we got the 2 teams face each other. The only 2 teams that both of us have is the Browns. So they won very decisive. They definitely beat them better than we did. 33-17 was basically the large part due to the Browns' mistakes, as much as it was, if not for the, but if it wasn't for the Cowboys playing well in offense. Like we talked about it leading up to the Browns game. The Cowboys didn't pile up a lot of stats, didn't pile up a lot of anything really against the Browns. It's just the Browns kept doing interceptions and mistakes, and they got a special teams touchdown. Like that's a lot of what this was. They then got crushed by the Saints in week 2. Absolutely crushed. 44-19, guys. That's bad. And the defense literally just couldn't handle any part of the Saints offense, point blank. And for some reason, the Cowboys, offense was putting up a lot of passing yards, but not a lot of points to go with it. and that's kind of a key component. And the rush attack, which is pretty much the story of the season so far for them, is absolutely non-existent for the Cowboys. Then you go into last afternoon, week 3 against the Ravens, and it's the same exact thing. And the game was going way out of hand. The Ravens were actually crushing the Cowboys for most of the game. Dallas did attempt a comeback, but it was just too late, and they lost 28-25. So, 1-2, same exact record of us. Now let's go over what to do when we're on defense here, because that's a lot of what gets the attention with the Cowboys too, as well as their offense. I mean, they got Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. They have a couple of big names. We got Ezekiel Elliott, who's a big name, but you're not a big player anymore.
Well, I mean, he's your goal line, third down kind of guy now. Like, he's not the guy you want to be rushing the ball.
But he is the guy rushing the ball. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Like, he's not. I mean, granted, he's not a Derrick Henry. I guess that's what I can say.
Yeah. He's more of a Derrick Henry. But yeah, I mean, here's what they're looking at so far with the rush attack. So for those who may have unaware, if you guys don't follow everything going on with the Cowboys in the offseason, Tony Pollard signed with the Tennessee Titans. So he's been their, leading rusher the last couple of years. He's gone. And the Cowboys basically, as we're just saying, replaced him by signing Ezekiel Elliott, who played last year in the Browns, the Patriots, and had his worst season as his decline has continued. He's gotten progressively worse each year the last couple of years. I mean, let's be honest. He's a little older. He's a little slower. That's what's happening. He's losing what made him special. And when I say losing, I mean it's lost.
That's way gone.
Now, I will say this. For some reason, Ezekiel Elliott always finds some magic against the Giants. I'm not sure what it is about the Giants. So, I'll give him that respect. He's, he's no Boston Scott, but he seems to make his best moments against the Giants for some reason. Here's where their running backs are in the season. Rico Doodle. I was going to come to him. Dowdle.
I was going to say.
Doodle.
Rico Doodle Dandy.
He's half poodle.
Yeah.
The new designer breed. 23 carries, 88 yards, 3.8 yards per carry average. I don't know why I always have trouble saying his name. Ezekiel Elliott, 19 carries, 62 yards, a 3.3 yards per carry average, and 1 touchdown. On the season so far, in all three games here, 3.6 yards per carry is the average. That's really bad, guys. Yeah. That's 29th in the NFL. They're also only averaging 73.7 yards per game overall rushing. That's 29th also. So, yeah, they can't run the ball worth squat. And honestly, it's probably a combination of two things. One, their running backs suck. I'm just going to point blank say it. But it's also, that line's not what it used to be, guys. It used to be a stellar line. Now it's like an average line. Which, don't get me wrong, again, we would take average on a heartbeat. We've had the last couple of years. I don't mean that as a disrespect to the line. They've had a great line for a while. But it's not as good as it used to be. They lost a couple players this offseason. When you lose 2 of your starting linemen, there's going to be a decline potentially. And that's what you got. Their passing game, though, is their main attack. But it's also not as efficient as it's been in the past. Dak Prescott on the year has a 63.5 completion percentage, 851 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So he's put up good stats, which is what Dak does. Let's be honest there.
Yeah.
Dak, love him or hate him, and obviously we're all Giants fans. We hate the Cowboys, so we hate Dak Prescott overall. But he puts up stats. He does do that. So receiver-wise, CeeDee Lamb, 13 catches, 218 yards, and a touchdown. No league neighbors, but he's still having a solid year. Jalen Tolbert's kind of become their second best receiver right now. 7 catches, 94 yards. The guy who's supposed to be their second best, Brandon Cooks, 8 catches, 75 yards, and 1 touchdown. So on paper, not bad stats, guys. And they're top 10 in the league in passing yards, but they're also just averaging 6.5 yards per pass, 20th in the league. And their sack percentage is Dak's getting sacked on 6.72% of passing plays, which is just 12th in the league. Now, I know 12th doesn't sound that bad, but again, guys, this was a top 5 offensive line for years.
almost a decade.
Yeah. Number 12 out of 32. You're right in that middle range. That 12 to 18 range is right in that middle. So they're like one of the better mediocre teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially with Dak, his whole career has had a good offensive line, a great top tier offensive line.
Yep.
His running back plays had a top offensive line. The receivers and that that offense had time to go out and get open.
Yeah,
they're not dealing with that anymore.
But I do think it's a combination of the line being bad, like you're saying. I think, and I should say bad, but not as good. I'll word it that way. Because again, they're not bad. I don't want to make it seem like this is just Giants fan hate, because it's not. It's legit stats are there. Like, the line is not as good as it used to be. But I do think part of it's also the abysmal running game. Like, if you're not, like, honestly, are you afraid of Ezekiel Elliott?
No.
Like, no. Zeke and Rico, I want them to run the ball. Absolutely want them to. You know? And that's where the game plan's got to be. You need them to rush the ball because they suck at it. You got to force them to run the ball. You got to do what you can to go ahead and take away the pass as best you can. And the key thing is, we got to try to repeat what we did last week, because the Giants have been sacking the quarterback at a very high rate. Not just last week, but on the season, they've been doing very well at that. The Giants have a 13.42 sack percentage, guys. That's second best in the league. When's the last time we said we were second best in the league in something, first off? Can we take a moment and enjoy that?
Jeez, I don't know if we can say that for the week.
Seriously. Yeah. Take that in your pipe and smoke it, Wink Martindale. We're good at something still without you. But, by forcing them to run the ball, it has two advantages, really. First, you slow down the clock, because the Giants can't win in a shootout, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I know there's been the Daniel Jones fans are coming out of the woodworks the last couple of weeks because he didn't have horrible games. Like, oh, look, he's not so bad.
Maybe, our shiny new toy has been looking fantastic.
And the much better offensive line, which, again, I don't care what makes him look good. I want him to look good, but he hasn't looked good. He's looked okay. But what I'm saying is that, does anybody really have faith that he can win in a shootout? Does anyone really think that if Dak Prescott is throwing the ball around, that Daniel Jones can keep up with him? And I'm not even trying to be rude when I say it. I'm just trying to be legit. Like, let's call it like what it is. We have to force them to run the ball to slow down the game. You want a long drive on both sides. We'll get to our offense in a minute. You want to slow down this game as best you can, because that's the best way to try to prevent this from getting way out of hand. And listen, I say way out of hand, like, I don't feel like, oh, that's a little negative. Like, yeah, first off, we're 1-2. I'm going to be a little negative. I can't help myself. But the other thing is that,
look what Dallas has done to DJ.
Look at the last 2 years alone.
Yeah.
That's what I got to look at, because we got destroyed, guys.
And if you want to argue, we could argue about DJ, how great he played, 2 years ago. What did the Cowboys do to him? Absolutely obliterated him.
Yeah.
Like, it was not good.
Yeah, it's not pleasant, guys. What's happened with the Cowboys and Giants lately, and I really want to win this one. And don't get me wrong, I want to win every game. Obviously, that's what fandom is. But this is a team that I really, really want to beat. Anytime we face the Cowboys and the Eagles, those two teams, I want to beat the crap out of them. And especially this go around here, because we beat the Eagles last time we faced them. That was a little nice. We haven't taken a chunk out of the Cowboys in a while. It's time to take the chunk out. So, like I said, that's got to be the game plan. Force this team to run. Keep Dak Prescott under pressure where he doesn't feel comfortable. Because it's our best bet, guys. Especially because we have some injuries at the cornerback position. And we'll talk about the injuries later on. But we got some injuries. We do have a guy I think might be coming back this week, which will help. But we do have some injuries there. So we got to force Dak to be uncomfortable, to move around. We got to force this offensive line of the Cowboys there to, kind of show that they're not as good as they used to be.
And listen, Dak has not played his best football under pressure. Like, nope. He's played some pretty terrible football. Like, he has shined in some moments, so you can't take everything away from him. being a Giants hater right now, or being a Dallas hater right
listen,
now.
you can say what you want about Dak because he's not that good. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it point blank myself. He has had a top 5 offensive line his entire career before this year. He's had top receivers his entire career. And that's actually me giving credit to the Cowboys is the weird part when I say it that way. I'm kind of disrespecting Dak, but I'm actually giving kudos to the Cowboys. They've set him up for success.
They have.
But as much as he's choked in the playoffs, I can't respect the man for that. But I want to see what he does now this year without the weapons. And the offense is not looking as good. He can't seem to carry this offense because he's a B-tier quarterback. He's not an A-tier quarterback. And don't get me wrong, we would take a B-tier quarterback in a heartbeat. He's better than Daniel Jones. I know it's going to kill some people to hear that, but he is. So let's get into their defense, though, guys. Let's talk about their defense, what we're going to do when we're on offense here, because that's a key matchup here. Because we got to figure out how to score. The Cowboys are going to score, guys. Like, we can't put up like 7 points and expect to win. Like, that's not going to work. And what we've been doing lately might not work, guys, this week. So let's get into that. So, simply put, guys, their run defense is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And their pass defense has been good. I'm not going to say great. It's been good. The Cowboys have allowed 5.4 yards per carry rushing the ball and 185.7 yards per game. Guys, that's absolutely goddamn horrendous.
Terrible.
So last afternoon, I keep saying last night, it was a 4:00 game. It was kind of like nighttime. I'm old. Where's my seed and coffee?
Pretty much.
They gave up 151 yards to Derrick Henry. They gave up 87 yards to Lamar Jackson. They gave up another 33 yards to Justice Hill and a little 3-yard run to Zay Flowers thrown in for the mix there at that point.
Like that's self-injury.
That's insane, guys. That's absolutely insane. That's 274 rushing yards they gave up yesterday.
Yeah.
Even your dog can't believe it.
No, he's distraught. He was watching the game. He's like, what is going on?
Whoa.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's insane, guys. Now, against the pass, they're giving up a 61.84 completion percentage. That's 9th best in the NFL. They're giving up 187 yards per game. That's 14th best. On sacks, they're getting to the quarterback at 8.43% of passing plays, 13th best. And interception-wise, they're getting interceptions on 3.95% of passes, 8th best in the league. So it's not bad numbers, guys. They got a couple of really good ones, a couple of average numbers. That's why I'm saying I'm not going to say great. But, guys, this is a game that the Giants, again, we talked about it. We talked about what we got to do when we're on defense. The Giants have to control this clock by running the ball. They have to slow down this game as best they can. And this is a team that, frankly, can't stop the run.
Yeah, and Singletary's looked pretty good as well.
He has, and my whole thing is it's not just Singletary, it's the offensive line.
Correct.
We've been talking the last couple weeks how much better this offensive line is. Guys, this is their week to dominate, point blank. Because if we can run the ball and we can control this game, we have a chance to win. If we can keep DJ on his feet and not on his back, we have a chance to win.
Which he has been on his back playing this team a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Was it 13 times last year or something?
I also heard a rumor he was on his back during a Kay Adams interview. I'm kidding.
Oh, jeez, this guy.
Bazinga. But, I mean, we got to do something here, guys, because I'm so tired of losing this damn team. I really am. And I think if we can get the run game going, it's like, you talk about the modern NFL, the pass sets up the run and that stuff. We can do a little old school football this week. I really think that's what we got to do. The pass has to be set up by the run. This is a perfect game to run the ball, play action pass.
100%. Know what I'd love to see in this game? Not right away, but maybe towards the end, right towards halftime. Not maybe quite before halftime, but have Malik Neighbors set up in the backfield, do a whole bunch of play actions. Don't know what's going to go on. This way it confuses the defense, and then you can set up the deep ball threat.
See, I gotta say honestly, that scares me. It really does, because my concern is if Neighbors gets injured, we're screwed.
Well, also, just because you have a shiny new toy doesn't mean you don't take it out and play with it.
No, but it still means you wash and wax it and take care of it.
You do 100%.
I just
I'm not saying we Barkley this guy.
I just think if we put this guy into the proper scenario where you do, he just 9 reps down the end at that point there while we're doing a play action, and maybe DJ actually, throws a deep ball for once to the actual receiver where he can catch it, you can get a big play out of that. And that's the kind of thing where I want to see. I mean, throw him, Slayton, and Hyatt all out there, and let's just run down the seam and go for it. Like that's the kind of stuff we got to do. But we got to be careful too, because this team gets picks, guys. This team gets picks. I mean, Diggs is back this year, healthy-ish. He's on the injury report. We'll get to that a little bit there, but healthy-ish. Yeah. That's a guy who gets interceptions. I mean, that's something you got to be worrying about there. You can't just throw it up willy-nilly there. Now, I will say this, though. Remember a couple of years ago who beat the crud out of Diggs? And that was everybody's favorite ex-Giant, Kadarius Toney. If Toney can beat the crap out of Diggs, then, yeah, maybe he's ready to go and does a big game against him, and maybe I'm overthinking this. It's possible. It's definitely possible. They still have Bland out with an injury right now. He's going to be out for a little longer. They actually got good news on him, so he might be back actually the next time we play them. But he's going to be out for this one here. Gilmore is gone. So the secondary is not as strong as it used to be. Like, I'm not saying not to take chances, guys. What I am saying is the run should be the main attraction. That's got to be the main way to do it. And you can't be scared of the defense here. But you also can't sit there and play into their strength, which is the pass coverage they have. And it just, like I said, it just can't be that way. It can't. So I do think, though, that what we got to do also is, again, get Neighbors involved, but do it in a safe way. And I'm going to call it right now for this, because I was thinking, I'm going to say it. It's turbo time, guys. I think we should honestly, I think we should call him up this week. And it's not just because we're big fans on the show here of Turbo Miller. We need all running backs on deck. Like, I want fresh legs going in and out of this game nonstop at that point. Yeah.
I
don't know.
Attacking that line. Do the locomotion. You got the roll blades on. You ready to go?
Do the locomotion with me. You got to swing your hands now. I'm just saying, like, I think that's something we got to do. Like, you got to keep on moving people in and out that are healthy at that point there, and ready to go and 100% not gassed at that point. Turbo Miller, I think, is a guy I'd be putting out there. Listen, I got more faith in him than I do Eric Gray. I'm sorry. I've said it on the post game yesterday. I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
And if you can get Turbo and Tracy and Singletary out there all healthy, just running the ball nonstop at that point, guys, we got something. This is a defense. You have to run the ball down their goddamn throat. That's got to be the game plan, guys. And Tyrone Tracy, if you take out that run that Devin Singletary had, guys, he ran the ball better than Devin Singletary did for most of the game. Singletary had that one great run, and I'm not taking the run away from him. But if that run didn't happen, you'd be having a different conversation about Devin Singletary today. Because he had a lot of runs with a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Can't have that this week. This has got to be a volume, dink-dunk kind of runs that point. I'm going to 4 or 5 yards a game of play at that point. And if you want to get technical, it shouldn't be 4 or 5. It should be 5.5. Just to be considered average against them. Got to get it going. DJ is going to run the ball too. I'm telling you right now.
100% he will. And like you want to talk about protecting like people, like DJ running the ball also still scares me. Like, I know you want to get involved. You don't want to get his legs moving, but he also is a guy that's coming back off of ACL surgery.
Yeah. Yep.
So
But I think, weirdly enough, I think he feels most comfortable when he's doing that. Like, I think it just comes naturally to him, and he feels like he's playing the game he wants to play.
A little bit.
Yeah.
When he gets to, I don't know, I have very mixed feelings on his new stance, the way he's been trying to run the ball, move around. So,
no, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So, let's get into the injury report there. I see you joining there with that comment asking here. The injury report. It is time. So, Giants actually pretty healthy for the most part, guys. We got two corners that we're really concerned about. Adoree Jackson and Drew Phillips are both out with calf injuries. They both did not practice on Monday here today. So, I don't know what to think at that point, guys. It's early, but it's not early, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it's a Thursday game off a short week.
Yeah, it's almost like asking, Wednesday, what do you think someone's going to do? It's just too early. But the fact that they're not practicing means both these guys are in question. And we talked about the fact that the Cowboys can't run, but they can throw. And now you might not have two of your better corners in this game. You think about that. There's five guys really at a corner that you go into going, okay, these are the guys. It's obviously Banks, who played bad last week. You got Flott, you got McLeod, you got Adoree Jackson, and you got Drew Phillips. So Drew Phillips is especially the one. I mean, like I said, we weren't necessarily big fans of that draft pick when it was made, but I'll be the first one to say point blank, he's played great. I've been a pretty big fan of the way he's played because he reminds me of like almost like an old school safety, the way he comes up to run. Like a Steve Atwater kind of type. Like, obviously, I know he's not Atwater. I'm not trying to say he's that kind of player necessarily, but that physicality he has in the run game, it reminds me of it. I've enjoyed watching that. It's nice to see a guy that just runs after a running back. Maybe it's because, as we talk about Adoree Jackson being hurt, maybe it's because I've been watching him the last couple of years where he's like, I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
Two-man touch.
Like, yeah. Where's the flag? Where do I pull the flag off his pants?
Yeah.
Like that's what I look at, So Drew Phillips is the guy I'd like to make sure is healthy, because I think he changes the dynamic at that point. And if we do force him to run, he does help in the run game there. So we'll have to see as the week plays on there. We'll give you guys updates on that as we get them there. Full participants here at practice, but listed on the injury list here. Dexter Lawrence, foot injury. Cornerback Nick McLeod, knee injury. Now, that's the interesting one. Nick McLeod has been absent there the last couple of weeks. We might be getting him back this week, guys. And if he gets back, what you're going to end up doing at that point is you got him and Flott now to go along with Banks. Not the greatest combo in the world, don't get me wrong, but having Nick McLeod in there helps a lot compared to what it would be without him, and potentially without Jackson, and potentially without Drew Phillips, guys. So getting him back is good. I like Nick McLeod. I'm a McLeod person at that point. I don't think he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but I think he's a little bit better than people give him credit for at that point.
Yeah,
he's come up big on some plays when need be. So linebacker Micah McFadden with his back injury, again, full-time participant there. Wide receiver Darius Slayton had a thumb injury there yesterday. He's a full participant. Jermaine Illuminor, thumb injury, also full-time participant there. And JMS, John Michael Smith. What's the injury report without JMS? Neck injury. He's also a full participant there. So, guys, the only two we're worried about, except the guys are obviously in the IR, like the Gunnar Olszewski's of the world and all, is Adoree Jackson and Drew Phillips. And we need them. We need them to play. I want to see those guys have a role there, because Drew Phillips is progressing. He's good to have. Adoree Jackson, one of the very few veterans we have in that entire secondary. So, we really need those guys there. Cowboys, their injuries there. Did not practice. Marquise Bell, the safety, ankle injury. Kalen Carson, also shoulder injury. Now, it's interesting. Kalen Carson's had a really good start to his season, his career, I should say. We talked about him in the draft there at that point. He's a guy that's got a little playing time because of injuries there. So not great yet on paper, but guys, for a 5th round pick to be getting playing time and not embarrassing himself, that's kind of a win in a way for the Cowboys. I'll put it that way. He's got a 57.9 PFF grade. So again, not a great season, but he's not like a 30 and 40 like you kind of expect a guy as a late round pick, developmental pick to come in and do there at that point. But if he's healthy, that's a guy I would definitely target over Diggs. I'll put it that way if he's out there on the field. That's definitely a guy I'd be targeting. Limited in practice was defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, got a shoulder injury. Full participant, but listed here with injuries. Trayvon Diggs, the corner, with a foot injury. CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver, with an ankle injury. Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle, with a back injury. And John Stevens, a tight end, with a hamstring injury. So both teams are coming in. This guy's pretty healthy. I can't sit there and say that there's anything that would go, this is a big game changer if this guy's not healthy or whatever. It's a nice thing if we're fully healthy at the secondary position, that's for sure. But unless DeMarcus Lawrence, re-injures that shoulder at that point during practice, because he is limited to he's practicing somewhat, I don't really see any big change in this outcome of this game based on injuries, guys, so far. So, we'll keep you guys posted later on in the week and let you know how things are progressing and changing there. But as of right now, not going to change too much there. So let's get to our keys to victory here. Keys to victory. So we've talked about these a little bit already, guys, but Giants need to run the ball consistently and effectively. You can't just be running the ball for 2-yard gains because then you have to stop running the ball. You got to keep running. Like, I want this to be like 8 to 10 minute drives kind of runs at this point, guys. That's what I want, because that's the way you're gonna tick off the Cowboys and make them start playing your game at that point. There, when they get their turn, we start taking away the pass because we're rushing everybody at him. Like, that's just, you got to just attack the crap out of Dak Prescott there. The Cowboys, like I said, they should be encouraged to run the ball, and the defense should 100% be focused on stopping the pass. Now, that sounds weird to say, though, guys, because quite frankly, we suck at stopping the run as well.
Yeah, but when you're talking about having Zeke as your main guy,
yeah,
we're pretty okay at stopping, the second and third back.
Here's the thing: is that, let's say hypothetically he breaks a tackle, he's not going to break one off at this point in his career, guys. He's not going to, But we're giving up 5 yards per carry, guys. Just to give you a heads up, 28th in the league, not great. We're giving up 131.7 rushing yards a game, 23rd in the league, not great. So I'm not trying to sit there and say we're an amazing run defense, but sometimes, you say play to your strengths. Sometimes you play to the other team's weaknesses. And that's what this is a case of what we're suggesting here. Third thing, the Giants need to play smart and avoid penalties and turnovers. Guys, how many penalties we have last game?
Just this season, we've had way more than the Giants normally have.
This last game alone, it just seemed like we had so many goddamn penalties. I was just sick of it. To give you an idea, guys, they do a stat, penalties per play. We get a penalty on 0.06% of plays, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's still, average it up over the plays you have at that point there. We're 25th in the league. 7.7 penalties per game, 24th in the league. Penalty yards per game, 61 penalty yards go against us per game, 21st. We can't have that happening.
No.
Can't have it happening. Now, we've been very good as far as, giving the ball, throwing the ball to the wrong team at that point. DJ hasn't been too bad at that at a point. We're only throwing the interceptions, throwing a 1.9%, 17th best in the league at that point. So about average. But the fumble's got to stop. We have to avoid turnovers. Devin Singletary, I'm looking at you. Hold on to the damn ball. Don't make us do the program to you. We're going to make you walk around campus with that ball.
It's going to be like a little egg baby test thing. Hold this, don't
Tiki
break.
Barber. We sit down with Tiki Barber. He's going to teach you all about it.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. If we make mistakes, guys, we're not going to be able to come back. And I don't mean to sound like I'm afraid of the Cowboys. I'm really not. This is the year that we have a better chance against than we have the last couple of years, guys. And that's why I'm saying these things, is because like last couple of years, you play the Cowboys, you're like, well, the Cowboys, we're not playing them good anyway. So what happened? Who cares if we throw a pick? It's one more time we don't score. Like we have a chance to beat them this time. That's why I'm so adamant against just playing smart football. And the last thing is, like I said, Dak Prescott cannot be allowed to be comfortable in the pocket. Guys, our secondary is not very good. I hate to say it that way. It'd be, again, sound negative. I'm just being honest and blunt about it. Banks looked horrible last week. Sounds weird to say guess last week. It was just yesterday for us. But he looked horrible. I'm just calling like it is. I don't have a lot of confidence in Flott. Drew Phillips is injured. Adoree Jackson is injured. Nick McLeod's coming back from injury. We have to get to the quarterback and make the plays get disrupted in order to make an effect on this offense not being able to do what they want to do against the secondary. Point blank. So, I think it's time, Rob.
Ooh, time for the Bills.
It's time to pay the bills.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
All righty, guys. And of course, as always, you can also send super chats via YouTube if you like, or stars on Facebook there if you want to go support the show that way as well. Now, if you guys really are big-time Giants fans, though, and you want all the news going on with the New York Giants, guys, the best way, hit that subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell.
Yep. Like it, follow.
Yeah, like on Facebook. Go on all of them. Like, share, follow all of them. Because, guys, we're live at a minimum 3 nights a week. Right now in the season, it's been 4. We'll find out this week. It's an odd week with Thursday. And then we have videos dropping on YouTube literally every single day. So, guys, go on there, please, and hit that like and follow and subscribe there. Let's get into the scores here, guys, because it's a Monday, which means we got to recap week 3. Oh, yeah. Got to recap it.
Ooh, what happened in that game?
We need some more cowbell.
I got a fever, and there's only one cure.
It's more cowbell. So we are going to do this a little more condensed than we usually do, guys, because the fact we had an actual game to go over here and do the preview of here. So we're going to do this a little more fast and furious style than we have been doing here. So before we get into how we did this week, because there's still a couple of games going on, before we get into that part there, as of right now, before this week started here, remember that I have a little bit of a lead, not a crazy lead, but a little bit of a lead at that point there. I'm up by 8 points to start this week. So let's go over the games, and then we'll go over how we're doing here. So Rob gets a chance to go through my math here, because I did make one mistake he pointed out before the show happened. Damn, he caught me cheating. So we'll go quick on this, Rob. We'll go one by one at that point, so we can get this done quick. So go for it. Take it away.
Take it away. All right, Thursday Night Football. We talked about this already, that the Jets won 24-7, which we thought would be a little bit of a closer game. We both took the Jets to win, the Pats to cover, and we took the under. So we went 1-0-1.
24-3.
24-3. What did I say?
You said 7.
No, whatever.
There we go.
Us.
Same thing.
Yeah, whatever. They stunk.
Of course, we had our game again. If you didn't see it already, we had our post-game show on available still on YouTube, Facebook, and all that as well, and of course, audio podcast. Giants beat the Browns 21-15 on what seems closer than what it actually was, because if it wasn't for that fumble to start the game and the first play being a touchdown to Amari Cooper, it'd be 21-8, and that'd be a blowout at that point there. It'd be nice to have a blowout for once, huh?
Yeah.
You're up.
Oh. All right. Up next, we had the Bears going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The Bears. And the Bears did what they do, what they've constantly been doing. They look like the Bears. They lost 21-16. Drew, we hit that trifecta because we both took the Colts to win, the Colts to cover, and we also took the under, which gave us 1-1 and 1 evenly spread. boom, boom.
Oh, yeah. Next up, we got the Texans at the Vikings. And oh, my God, guys, the Vikings, maybe they are for real. The 3-0. Darnold's looking good. They put up 34 points against the Texans, which are a defensive coach team at that point. Only gave them up 7. I mean, that's a pretty stacked offense there. Like, that's solid win by the Vikings that I think pretty much nobody saw coming.
No, not at all. Not even the Viking fans.
Exactly. With the Vikings themselves, let's be honest.
Yeah. Sam Darnold's like, I'm winning games? How's this possible?
No. Never happened in New York. But...
Yeah. This is what it's like to win. All right, up next, we had the game that was almost the upset of the week. Almost watching the magic of the Saints continue walking down. The Saints wind up losing this game in a tragic fourth quarter comeback, if you will. Eagles win 15-12. Drew, we both took the Saints to win this game because they're so hot. We took the Saints to cover, and we also took the over. So we hit the reverse trifecta. We got a goose egg.
And, guys, I know a lot of people are knocking the Eagles for how low they were on scoring-wise on offense. I hate to give them kudos there, but they just stopped an offense that's been tearing apart. I mean, obviously, they've been tearing apart the Panthers and the Cowboys defense. I'm not trying to say they've faced the most stellar defenses in the world yet. Anytime you put 40 points on average against NFL teams, you're doing something right. That's 100%. Not 25 to 30. That's a legit. I'm blowing the hell out of these people, especially because they went up with 30. Was it 33 points they put up on the Panthers in the first half? Like that's
they had to taper it back down.
Yeah, they definitely did. They could have probably broken NFL records at that point there. So, Chargers at the Steelers in the game that we thought that the Steelers had come down to earth at that point. Nope. Steelers won 20-10. And now Justin Herbert is injured on top of that too. So we'll have to find out what's going to go on with them for next week there at that point. But, if he's out, that's not good there. I know injury update there. I did get today that the x-rays were negative, but we'll have to see how he is overall there because anytime you get an ankle injury, guys, guess what you do every time you step? Use your ankle. Like that's not good. So we'll see what happens there. Next up,
we had probably the upset of the week. We had Broncos going into Tampa Bay playing the Bucs. Broncos pull up the upset 26-7. Drew, we both took the Bucs to win this game, but I was a crazy son of a gun who took the Broncos to cover in the spread, which they won. So obviously they covered, and we both took the underness. So I got a little up on you in this one.
A little bit, not much.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Packers at the Titans in the Malik Willis Bowl. And the Packers did what the Packers have been doing, just playing smart football, not letting Willis throw the ball too often, letting their defense do its thing, and letting him run because he guys does do that very well. I hate to say it, but he's kind of like DJ. They won.
Improvement on DJ right now.
Well, no, I don't think that. He just got better weapons around the DJ's ever had around him, including this year. It's a stacked team, dude. That Packers team is stacked. But Packers win 30-14. And I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if the end is coming soon for Will Levis the way he's been playing. I know they said some positive things about him, but that man's been putting way too much mayo in his coffee. It's time.
He's been quite entertaining to watch, so.
He's been making some really bad plays, like almost every single week that you go, what the hell? Like, you shouldn't make this in the NFL. I don't care if you're a young player or not. Yeah, it's been kind of rough. Now, Mason Rudolph, by the way, is their backup, if anybody's curious. So not exactly a guy that's going to push the envelope there, but he's a guy who's got a lot of experience in Pittsburgh and did get a few starts there because, Big Ben got injured on a regular basis.
Yeah. He also got himself concussed too, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Up next, another upset that Drew picked. Absolutely right. So evens it right back out.
I was half right. I was half right.
Yeah.
I didn't get the winner right. I got the spread right.
You had the Panthers go. Well, I mean, same thing with the Broncos. But you had the Panthers go into Vegas, play the Raiders. Panthers win. The Red Rocket himself throws it up there, 36-22. And then, of course, I took the Raiders. You took the Raiders to win, but you took the Panthers in the spread, which is a smart enough move, and you took the over.
Damn straight. Now, remember what I said though when coming to that game? I said I went back to what the Panthers did the previous year with Dalton when he started that one game for Bryce Young against the Seahawks, which Seahawks got a decent secondary, young secondary, but a decent secondary, and he put up over 300 yards. I said, watch, this is what's going to happen. I think you guys are going to see a different Panthers team now going forward. I really do. And I'm not saying they're going to be a great team, but they're not going to be the embarrassment they have been, because there is some talent there. There is some talent.
You don't be this bad for this long and not pick up talent. You might see a Panthers team that gets 5 or 6 wins this year.
I mean, you got a young wide receiver core that's led by the veteran Adam Thielen, who obviously is young himself, but you got a couple of recent draft picks that are kind of going there. You got Miles Sanders, who's shown he can do something in the past. I mean, there's some players there, guys. This isn't the empty cupboard that it appeared when Bryce Young was there. He just didn't have the arm strength or the height to see over the offensive line. That's the problem. Sorry. Maybe he should contact Gene Simmons about borrowing a pair of boots next time he gets a chance to start.
Or maybe call up, someone else that was in his conference for a very long time in his own division there, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is a big man compared to Bryce Young. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but aren't they both 5'9"?
I think Brees was a little bit bit bigger.
5'10", you give him an inch on him.
5'10" is why didn't they give me a weight? I hate when they do. Okay, 5'10", 204 pounds is what they got at that point for him. Drew Brees, let's see.
He's like 5'9", probably 220.
He's 6 foot even.
That's because he put socks in his cleats.
And maybe that's what he needs to do. Maybe that's what Bryce Young needs to do. Okay, put some goddamn socks in the cleats at that point. But yeah, 6 foot even and 209 pounds. So about the same height, about the same weight wise there at that point. A couple pounds, 5 pounds there difference, but the height is still a difference. It's 2 inches. 2 inches is a lot. Okay, I've been told that many times.
Well, depends on the context.
Next up, we got the Dolphins at the Seahawks, which is basically what I expected to happen at that point. You take good quarterback play out of the mix, and bad things will happen for the Dolphins there. Not a stellar defense, not a stellar offensive line. Just got a lot of offensive weapons at that point there, but now no one to throw it to them. Seahawks win 24-3.
Yeah, sad game. Up next, you're going into the 4:25 game. You got the Lions going into Arizona for a little bit of a fun match there. Not too much fun. Arizona just can't seem to get together. Lions win 20-13. And Drew, we did a pretty good job picking out this game. And I took the under, which gave me the trifecta in this game.
Whoop, whoop. There you go. All right. Then we got the game of the week for Giants fans besides our win, because we got to see the Cowboys lose. And they tried and come back, and they didn't quite do it. And this was at home, guys, where the Cowboys couldn't lose last year, basically. Ravens win 28-25, and the game was not that close for most of it, guys. Like I said earlier, they really tried to come back, and they really made it an interesting game at the end there, but didn't quite finish that comeback there. Ravens win.
Oh, yeah. Up next, you got
right, by the way, Rob.
Oh, you definitely did, because I don't know. I thought for some reason that the Ravens would go 0-3, like a butthead. But no game I did get right in the spread was the next one up, was the Niners playing in LA against the Rams. Okay, you said this is a get right game for this team, and I said no, divisional game. It's going to be close, but the Niners wound up pulling out the Rams wound up pulling out the win 27-24, which means we both lost it straight up. I got the spread on this. And Senor Drew, I also took the over, and you took the under.
Yep, I had a lot of unders this week. So, all right, then we got Sunday night. The Chiefs at the Falcons, and the Chiefs have to win, or else the NFL refs don't get a bonus check in a Pierce game. The Chiefs win 22-17, and definitely more and more people complaining about the calls going the Chiefs their way. Yeah. Unfortunately, guys, that's what happens when you win on a regular basis. I don't know why. It's always every single game, and I mean, not even just football. Every single sport. How many foul calls does LeBron James get when he just goes ooh, like it just happens. Like,
well, also let's just be real too. Like, we did this for the past 2 decades against the Patriots. Now the Patriots are playing the same, like making the same mistakes. But when those don't go their way, like people aren't saying this and that because they're irrelevant.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a little crazy, that's for sure. So we got 2 games going on now, guys. You got the Bills right now, as we're talking, are up 37-10 in the fourth quarter. I think it's pretty safe to say the Bills will definitely win that game. I think it's safe to say that the over it's gonna happen unless all of a sudden somebody takes away points somehow. So yeah, that's gonna be there. Let's assume that for a second that this score stays the same with the Commanders at that point. That puts them at 41 points as of right now. So that would be the under, and obviously the Bengals were favored. So if that's what happens hypothetically, let's see here.
Fill this in. Listen. There's still 20 minutes of football left of that game.
We'll see what happens. But if that's what happens, you and I both ended up 50-50 on the straight up wins. I got 9 of the spread picks. You got 7. So not a bad week there for either one of us really on that. On the over unders, same thing. I got 9, you got 7. And then I got 2 trifectas, meaning win, spread, and over under. You got 3, so you got me 1 up on that, which would have me as winning by 3 this week if the scores stay as they are. We'll have to see how that happens, especially the over-under in that Bengals and Commanders game. That's the one that I'm really going, okay, that could really change some things at that point there.
Oh, yeah. Bengals win, goes the over.
Yeah, which would put me still up by just 1 for the week, basically, if that happened, as opposed to the 3 that I'm up right now. So at that point, we'll see what happens there. But as of right now, that put me up by 11 points right now for the year.
It's going to take one bad week in October for me to come right back.
What happened last year? Yeah. I've been training for this all off season. God damn it, Rob! It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So
it's going to happen.
Let's get to the comment sections here real quick before we head on out. So Robert NY Giants says Giants need a blitz and stay with it just like they did in the first half of the Cleveland game. Yeah, they 100% need to. In this game here especially, you have to make Dak uncomfortable.
Yes.
Dwayne, what's up, man? Says Deontay Banks can't play the way he played Sunday if we want to win. Yeah. No, CeeDee Lamb will eat him up. Like, Amari Cooper did not look, we talked about it going into the game. It was not good the first 2 weeks. Like, he literally had, like, what we said, 25 yards receptions. I think 25 yards receiving yards going into the game.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, we looked like 6 times his season total now at that point. Robert also says, get Tyrone Tracy more involved. Get them all involved.
Yeah.
Like, there's supposed to be a stable of running backs. It's not supposed to be a running back star like we've had in the last couple of years at that point. Singletary, I respect the man. He's been in the league for a few years and done good things everywhere he's went. But he's not the long-term answer, guys.
No.
The guy's going to be here for a couple of years and move on and probably be towards the latter half of his career at that point there. Meanwhile, Tracy, Turbo, they're on the up at that point. They're on the upswing at that point. We got to give them a chance to see what they can be. And Eric Gray needs to go bye-bye. Still saying it.
Bye.
And Dwayne says, do you guys think Drew Phillips gets back on Thursday? I don't know. I hope so. I don't know. Too early to tell. We will find out. Robert says, Nubin has played well. Yeah, Nubin, we're big fans of Nubin. So it's weird because he's one of those guys that hasn't he hasn't really popped up that much, I feel like, in the highlight reels as much. But there's been a lot of things he's been there for that he just kind of, he's there around it. It's like he's this close to getting it. I think something's going to flip a switch on him all of a sudden, and he's going to be there. By the way, if people are curious, 65.4 PFF grade so far on him. So not great, but not horrible, for a guy who's just starting out there and learning there. Dwayne also says Flott back in the slot scares me. Listen, Flott in the slot in a sock with a fox. What?
Oh, Dr. Seuss here.
Little Dr. Seuss action here. A little red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish here. Like, yeah. But Flott just scares me in general. I'm not a Flott fan. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah.
There's a lot worse you could do as a backup corner, but I don't like him starting. I really don't. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. So, alrighty, guys, that calls it a day for us. Again, guys, if you haven't hit that like, that subscribe, that share, shame on you because we asked you already.
Yeah, please.
Plus,
Please.
we have that
We're
lovely
really
thing by
bad.
Rob said that says to keep doing it, and it's on
Please.
autoplay, saying subscribe, share. All right, guys, we'll be back again for you guys Wednesday with our preview of Week 4 for everybody else.
And Drew, by the way, the over just hit on the Bengals game.
Did it? Oh, you just
Bengals just got a touchdown in the red zone. It is 28-19. It says push right now, so we're going to see if they get a 2-point conversion or go for a field goal.
Well, we'll see
what
what
happens.
Points. We'll see what happens. I'm clearing that out right now again anyway, so I'm just trying to give people like where we could be at that point.
Just saying. Live update, guys. If you listen tomorrow morning, well, the game's over. You probably know what happens, and that sounds
probably they probably already stopped anyway because we've already started going. So anyway, guys, we'll be back again Wednesday doing all the preview episode stuff there for Week 4, and then Thursday, like I said, game day. Barring any natural disaster here, we'll be on throughout the game there, giving you guys our thoughts as things are progressing there. Should be a fun one there. I'm a little nervous because DJ tends to suck in prime time, but we'll see what happens. So, let's be optimistic. Let's go for 2-2. Let's go for it. Let's go for 500.
Let's go for a 2-2. Toxic Avenger style.
Ballet style. All right, guys. We'll see you guys again next episode there. And as always, Giant fans, go G-Man!
Giants.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.